In honor of Pride Month, IDW, who makes all the Star Trek comics, came out with Star Trek Celebrations, which is, like it kind of implies, a celebration of a bunch of the queer characters in Star Trek canon. I haven't seen a whole lot of videos talking about this comic, so I just wanted to quickly go through the 6 different short stories that are in here and talk about my thoughts on each of them. The first, which I think is a fantastic opener for the comic to kind of set the tone, is Girlfriends, a story that focuses on Mariner and Jennifer from Star Trek Lower Decks. This comic follows up on both the hope and the fear that's shown from Mariner in the episode Mining the Mind's Minds of commitment, of having a committed relationship, specifically with Jennifer.
Aw, it's nice to see you with a girlfriend.
She's not my girlfriend. We're just hanging out. We're not into labels.
Oh, I'm into labels.
Is that your fantasy?
No, shut up.
Ooh, somebody's blushing.
And just talking about that episode real quick, I think it's really cool that we see that Mariner both wants this committed relationship, something that these minds are using to attempt to lure her.
Nailed it, babe. Let's make out.
But then when they start producing fear, it's also a fear of commitment, and I just love that internal conflict.
I want us to grow old and boring and grow orchids together, babe!
Mariner, you might want to go back to therapy.
And this story sort of follows up on that. Now, I forget if Jennifer and Mariner were officially girlfriends by the time of their date episode where they're going to Jennifer's friend's salon, so oh no, I guess I have to rewatch the Deep Space Nine episode. Not the Deep Space Nine episode, a travesty. So I've watched the episode, they are not officially girlfriends yet. And also, I realized after watching the episode that it specifically says in the comic that the comic story takes place a week after the Deep Space Nine story. So I guess I didn't need to rewatch the Deep Space Nine episode of Lower Decks, but oh well, I'm never gonna regret rewatching that episode.
Circle around and pretend we're in awe of the pylons.
But overall, I really liked that story. I think that they nailed the characterization of Mariner specifically. It feels like something that would happen as she's grappling with commitment and connection, which is her big character arc throughout the Lower Decks series. The next short story is Mix Talier's Night Out, which is the one short story based on a comic book original Star Trek character. I haven't read the comics that Talier is from, but based on some short research online and just context clues throughout this issue, Talier used to be in Organian, a bodiless life form. Their species has long since evolved past the needs for a physical corporeal body, but through something that I'm assuming happened in the comic book run, Talier's body is now contained inside a Vulcan who goes by Talier. And we also get to see some of the Fenris Rangers from Star Trek Picard in here.
Picard still thinks there's a place in the galaxy for mercy. I didn't want to disillusion him.
Which I think it's nice to see them explored a bit more because they're kind of interesting, and I thought that, unfortunately, Picard didn't do a great job of exploring them.
When the rescues ended, some of us tried to help maintain order on the worlds the Federation left behind. They're based on Fenris.
I have to say that I really love the line, and I'm going to read it verbatim here. Talier talking about their experience. As an Organian, I incorporated into both masculine and feminine bodies. But now, this one life must embody that fullness of my being. To deny myself such exploration would be a disservice. I mean, I am not a genderqueer individual. I'm a cis man, but I, have thought about gender and stuff, and I just really like this exploration of the character and that kind of thinking beyond the confines of gender from a sci-fi perspective. I just think that it was a really interesting insight that let me relate to an experience that is not my own in a unique way. It also reminded me of the Organian episode from Enterprise, Observer Effect.
I've got faith.
There we see two Organians inhabit the bodies of many different members of the Enterprise crew as they are watching how they react to a deadly scenario.
Our encounter with the virus was an accident, one that you could have prevented.
Then how would we ever learn about you?
While they both start out inhabiting males, the older Organian later inhabits both T'Pol and Hoshisato. And the younger one comments that it has been so long since the Organians have had physical bodies that they don't even know the difference between sleep and being sedated on so much tranquilizer that it could take down a horse. So yeah, why would such a species have a corporeal construct like gender? Why would that matter to them? So I think Talier's exploration of gender is really interesting, and I'd love to see more of it. I think that was my favorite of the short stories here. I liked them all, but this I thought was the most interesting and fresh ground for Star Trek. Next up, we have Worst Case Scenario Protocol, which is about 7 of 9 and Raffi from Picard. They go to the holodeck to explore a bit of 7 of 9's time on Voyager so Raffi can get to know it. And what do you know? There's a holodeck malfunction, and now they are going through different events, rapid fire style, like Voyager Era 7 singing at the nightclub, Captain Proton and her being the extremely reluctant secretary there, combat training with B'Elanna, and being ostracized by the people of the Fairhaven holodeck town. This was a fun story that I thought didn't have too much depth to it, and unfortunately one line by Raffi at the end kind of ruined it for me. Raffi says, "I always wanted to know about your time on Voyager, but I didn't realize how much the crew was part of it." Really? The people who severed her from the Borg Collective and guided her on the path to reclaim her individuality for the first 4 years that she was separated from the collective, you didn't think they were important to her?
What does that mean? Oh my God, Robbie.
I don't know. That one line being at the conclusion there just really kind of sours the whole experience for me, which otherwise was just kind of nostalgic fun. We move right on to the next story, which is my second favorite of the bunch, Klingons Don't Flirt, which is written by the actor who plays Jay-Den in Starfleet Academy.
It's your voice. It's yours. Use it.
And it features him going to that bar that's near Starfleet Academy with Kyle. The same bar that Sisko went to in his Academy days. Let's go! Everybody should follow in Sisko's example always.
Start riots.
Did Sisko start riots I don't know about?
I just think that this story is very cute. As Jaden is saying, Klingons don't flirt. We are open and honest with our intentions, and we treat love like a battle to be won. Here is how I will win your affections, and it ends with them kissing. And I just think that it's very cute and fun, and I love the openness and honesty about gay love. And it also reminded me of Worf talking to Wesley Crusher about what Klingon men do in meeting rituals with Klingon women, while the women are hurling heavy objects at them.
What does the man do?
He reads love poetry. He ducks a lot.
The love poetry, for a second I was like, oh, that's kind of flirting though. That seems to contradict. But when you think about it, the love poetry is an open, honest expression of their feelings, and they are using the well-forged weapon of wordsmithing and wordplay, and I just like that, thinking of the interpretations of Klingon culture. And of course, Worf was also canonically a virgin at that point of time, until 10 episodes later when he gets with his partner, Kalar, for the first time. So maybe we should take what he says with a pinch of salt, because he's probably getting most of it from Klingon romance novels. But fortunately, Worf does talk about Klingon courtship again in the Deep Space Nine episode Looking for Parmak in All the Wrong Places. Oh no, an excuse to watch a Deep Space Nine episode. Oh my gosh, whatever am I gonna do? What? In this episode, Dax says that Klingon mating expectations are rather involved. Worf adds on by saying that there are different customs and expectations based on different regions and geographical locations where Klingon culture formed. But even still, the one discussed specifically in this episode is still declarative, precise, and clear.
It is customary among her people that the man bring a leg of lenta to the first courtship dinner, and use the leg to sweep aside everything on the table and declare in a loud voice, I have brought you this. From this day, I wish to provide food for you and your house. All I ask is to share your company and do honor to your name.
Then what? Well, either she accepts your offer, or she has her bodyguard shatter every bone in your body.
Sounds reasonable.
It's obvious that Jaden's actor and this story's writer, Karim Diane, just gets Klingon culture very well and deeply understands how his character Jaden chooses to interact with and believe in it and how it shaped him. It's just really nice to see someone who's so clearly dedicated to their craft contributing to their own character in this way. And gosh, have I mentioned that I just love this story? The next short story was the meeting of the Kelvin timeline, so the 3 more recent Star Trek movies with the recast of the original crew, the Kelvin timeline Sulu, meeting who will be his husband, as we see in Star Trek Beyond, Dr. Benjamin Jung, and we watch the two of them flirt and bond over botany. Plus, Dr. McCoy is there as the very grumpy third wheel, which adds some levity to the situation.
Oh, that's the spirit, Bones.
It was funny, it was cute, and it was very low stakes, which aligns with the intentions of Star Trek Beyond's writers and the actor who played Sulu, who wanted to ensure that it was clear that a gay marriage was completely normal in the Star Trek future, nothing to make a fuss about. The last one is Lovesick, which features Nurse Chapel in her Strange New Worlds period of time, and expands on the idea of her going on lots of dates.
Casual, no attachments, it's just for fun, zero commitments.
You said the same thing about that gal on Argelius too.
That was a misunderstanding.
She catches a vibe with a new character for this comic, first introduced here, Zoe Sanchez, and they go on a first date. It reminded me of that Strange New Worlds Shore Leave episode where she talks about how she likes having things that are not commitment heavy.
So being in a relationship is. It's mutual sacrifice. Pretty much why I avoid them.
And this is just the first date of her and this woman. So it was a fine story, but it didn't do much for me personally. All right, and that's it. Those are my thoughts on Star Trek Celebrations, the 2026 edition. I said that I hadn't seen many videos talking about this comic online. That's because the ones that I did see that were there were from, guess, believe it or not, a bigoted hater. So I wanted to get something more positive out there, but still with a critical and honest view. Overall, I really loved this. Even the Nine and Raffi story I didn't hate. I just felt that one line really left a weird ending note on that story. But all of these were somewhere between okay and fantastic, like the Talir story. So I hope you check this out. And actually, because of that hateful bigot posting countless videos about how IDW is regretting putting out this comic from 2 years ago and other Star Trek Celebrations, Star Trek is ending their contract with IDW. Well, obviously that's not the case because here we are 2 years later doing the same kind of thing. And thank you for letting me know that they made one of these 2 years ago. I'm going to go pick that up from the comic book store and read another one because let's go queerness, let's go Star Trek continuing to be on the cutting edge of social issues. And it's always been progressive and woke. So if you disagree, you're wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Pride. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about any of these characters and their relationships, or this comic if you checked it out. But if you leave anything that's hateful and bigoted, you're just going to be hidden and ignored. So don't waste your time and don't waste my time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good week.